So after 3 films in the franchise, including a 4th film that was scrapped during production, Sleepaway Camp finally got the reboot treatment in 2008. We've got the original director back, we got multiple stars of the original film back. Normally, this would be a time to rejoice. Normally. What's up everybody and welcome to the final review in my Sleepaway Camp review series. For those that are gonna ask, I cannot find a workable copy of part 4 anywhere to even watch, and from what I understand, only maybe 20-30 minutes of that film is actually new footage. The rest of it is just recap footage from the other films anyway. Doesn't seem like there's any point in even talking about that one. So we are at Return to Sleepaway Camp, the final film in this franchise. Now, I've said before that anytime I do a review series on a franchise that I have not already seen all of the films, there's always one that everybody warns me about, that everybody says in the comments, oh man, wait till you get to that one. I can't wait to see when you get to that one. I'm praying for you when you get to that one. And more times than not, they end up overhyping how bad that movie really is. I get prepared for it, I brace for impact, and then I watch the film and go, oh, I mean, it's not good, but damn. Wasn't that bad. Return to Sleepaway Camp competes with The Exorcist II: The Heretic for the most miserable sequel experience that I have had since being on YouTube. But before we get into all of the reasons why this was a miserable sequel, if watching miserable sequels like this causes a few extra lines on your face, then check out the sponsor of this video, Geology. Geology is a 9-time award-winning men's skincare company. All you do is go onto their website, take a 30-second quiz, and they send you a kit of products that are customized for your individual needs. No matter what your skincare needs, if you're trying to reduce acne or oiliness, if you're trying to get rid of that puffiness underneath your eyes in the morning, or just reduce the appearance of your wrinkles as you've gotten older, Geology has all top-notch products that will help you achieve those skincare goals. I chose a kit that is geared towards helping me reduce the puffiness underneath my eyes in the morning, which is something I deal with almost every day that I have an irregular amount of sleep. My kit came with a Vital Morning Face Cream, a Nourishing Eye Cream, a Repairing Night Cream right before you go to bed, and 2 individual bottles of everyday face wash, one for the shower and one for the sink, or the gym, or your locker. Nobody wants to have to run back and forth. Over the past year, I've used 3 different products trying to reduce this puffiness issue, and I have had the exact same result in the end. I don't notice a gigantic difference in the morning, and every cream that I have used really irritates the skin underneath my eyes and even burns my eyes. And since using Geology products, I've not only noticed a difference in the morning, but I have never had any irritation in my skin. If you're interested in checking out Geology, they will send you a 30-day trial kit complete with 5 items, including the 2 separate bottles of face wash. That's a $50 value that is only going to cost you $15. Head to geology.com and take their free skincare quiz to save up to 70% off of your 30-day trial. Even better, join their new Geology Galaxy community for more daily tips, giveaways, and more at discord.gg/geology. That's GEOLOGIE. And thank you to Geology for sponsoring today's video. Starting off with the positives for Return to Sleepaway Camp, there is a bit of charm, a bit of enjoyment to seeing some of the original movie's characters back. You get Ronnie and his shorts returning. We get Ricky back, which was honestly the one that excited me the most because I love that character and his foul little mouth.
Is that Ricky? Ronnie? What the hell are you doing here? I was gonna ask you the same thing.
And I'm not even gonna bother trying to conceal this as a spoiler. Felissa Rose is back as Angela. If you didn't know that, I just saved you the effort of watching this film to find it out. And I'll also say that those actors are still able to tap into that so bad that it's awesome quality of the first film, because all 3 of them, well, 2 of them for the most part, have the standout moments of the movie for being so bad that you can't help but laugh with joy.
Angela!
No matter how bad the movie is, seeing those characters again did bring a bit of a smile to my face. And I'll also give credit where credit is due. The ideas, the concepts that they came up with for the kills in this movie were pretty interesting. They had some variety to them. They were unique. They were creative. Notice how I say the idea. I'm not talking about execution yet, but the idea they were going for on most of these kills was cool. Now, laying into all of the negatives of this film. And we'll start small and get bigger as we go along, shall we? That sounds fun. So, first of all, the production value, the quality of acting, the lighting, the camera work, everything like that, it is bare bones terrible. Now, at first, like, I'll be honest, the first couple of minutes of this film, being that it was the director of the first film, I thought that that was intentional. I thought that he was like, all right, let me try to make this thing look like the original Sleepaway Camp. Let me try to make this thing look cheap and look terrible. And maybe that is what the intention is. But that comes across totally differently in 2008 than it did in 1983. As I said in my original Sleepaway Camp review, that movie is a beautiful disaster. It is awesome for all of the worst reasons. And I don't think anybody on this earth is genius enough to make all of that intentionally. I don't believe it. Even if the director came out today and said, I intended for all of that. I knew it was going to be bad and awesome. No, you didn't. You thought you were making something awesome, and it just accidentally turned out to be horribly awesome. So the fact that he tried to recreate that in any way, to me, was just an exercise in futility, because it just makes a really bad, cheap-looking film that does not have the magic, the nostalgia, or the accidental appeal of the first film. And when I say bad acting, I don't mean the entertaining kind. I don't mean the kind that I've been talking about basically this entire franchise, where you get characters like Riff that's just like, what the fuck is that? That is awesome. You don't have any characters like that here. Half of them act like they don't give a fuck. None of the characters are given any kind of a story arc or any kind of a build-up or even any kind of real memorable personalities. They're just random teenage people. And even the characters that show up that feel like there should be some story there, especially with the way Sleepaway Camp movies tend to go, like the chick with the pigtails and the glasses and the quiet demeanor. It's like, oh, so that's going to be our new Angela? No, she's just there for 2 scenes. Another baffling choice. So they got Isaac Hayes in here as the biggest piece of credibility that this film has, as simply the chef. For those that understand why Isaac Hayes is playing a character called the chef, why would they not have something in this movie to give a very direct reference to a referential cameo that they are clearly going for? How many South Park fans do they honestly think recognize the name Isaac Hayes without hearing the voice?
Hello there, children!
Hey, Chef!
There. I fixed it for you, movie. It was fucking difficult. That's like having Arnold Schwarzenegger cameo in your comedy as Terminator guy, and you never have him say, I'll be back. He's just there. He's just there? What the fuck?
Let me go, you big pussy! You don't tell me what to do!
Oh, but you found time for that one. The execution, as far as the special effects on these kills, save for the very last one, like almost the final shot of the movie, save for that thing. The rest of the production value and the effects work on these kills is laughably bad. It's almost like they dove all of their time and energy, all of the little bit of time they had on set with an actual special effects guy on that final kill of the dude who was skinned alive, because that actually looked pretty decent. Everybody else, it's like they had a spare $10 to figure out the rest of these kills. So there's a lot of cutaways, a lot of fade to blacks, a lot of really cheap CGI covering up what the kill was. And so every single one, you're like, this is kind of a cool idea, and you fucked it up. And that's, for some, going to be the biggest casualty of this movie, because that was the saving grace for a lot of the Sleepaway Camp movies, was that, hey, there's some pretty creative kills here. Hey, there's actually some variety. Hey, they're actually going with some pretty good effects for that first film. For as cheap as everything else looks, that looks pretty fucking good. You don't even have that in this one. Then you have the ridiculously obvious and painfully executed plot twist regarding Angela being at the camp the entire time. First of all, it's a fucking Sleepaway Camp movie. We expect Angela to be there because what is a Sleepaway Camp movie without Angela? Second, the first fucking moment that this sheriff character shows up, you know that that's somebody with a bunch of makeup and prosthetics on. There is nothing about that character that looks like a fucking human. This dude walks on screen, he's got a horribly fake looking beard. He's competing with the cop from the first film with his little tape mustache. You got this nose that looks like it's just rubber about to melt off of the face. You got big ass sunglasses and a hat, like half of his face is obscured with props. You got the fucking cancer box and all that. It's like, God damn it, you're hiding something, and the only thing you can be hiding is Angela. And they actually expect you not to figure this shit out, because this fucking cop character shows up all throughout the movie and is just like, what's going on here? Like, there's no narrative point for a fucking sheriff to be hanging around this camp throughout the entire movie. Unless somebody dies and he's there to collect the body or to investigate something, that fucking dude just hanging around to be there makes no sense. Nobody draws any attention to it except the movie. And you're like, hey, just a fucking killer. And so when it finally does get to the third act reveal, you're just impatient at that point. You're like, no shit! Yeah, go ahead, take the hair off, take the fake nose off, and then drop the fucking cancer box, and hey, guess what? Felissa Rose, surprise!
I knew it was you.
They even go as far as making the actual ruse behind the third act twist make no sense whatsoever. There's a point where the sheriff goes and seeks out Ricky to ask about the whereabouts of Angela, with nobody else with him. That doesn't make any fucking sense when the sheriff is Angela. You seriously couldn't have found any other, sensible way to show Ricky without having the fucking plot just crumble underneath him? It's just ridiculous. Felissa Rose is great. Having her back in that role is great. Why would you frame that as a third act twist? Why even bother with that? Especially if you're gonna execute it like fucking shit. Just have her in the movie. Have her as a fucking counselor. Have her disguised as somebody. She looks more like a woman now because she's actually a woman. I don't know, do something with that. Have somebody that's not fucking Ronnie from the first film that can point her out and make the movie actually about Angela hiding there, and all the while we know and we're just having fun with it because we're here to see Angela. Why the fuck are you hiding her under that bullshit costume? And all throughout the movie, they're trying to make you think that the killer is another character that we are going to discuss at fucking length. But that character looks absolutely nothing, just body shape, body mass wise, as the person in the black hoodie that they are showing the entire movie. The character that they're trying to use as the red herring is close to 300 pounds. The person that is doing all these killings looks like they're probably 110 soaking wet. Even if you didn't have the sheriff character, you're not fooling anybody with that shit. For as cheap and as awesomely terrible as the first film is, they genuinely had you believing it might be Ricky or it might be somebody else. You didn't know necessarily that it was 100% Angela. You had a pretty good idea, but there's still a fan theory to this day that both of those motherfuckers were killing people in that first film. There's another thing you could have explored in this movie. If you're going to have Ricky come back, that would have been a cool little plot twist. Show him sitting there holding the fucking knife. It's my turn. But all of that can be forgiven. That can be forgiven. That can be forgotten about, that can be overlooked, that can be something you can have fun with when you watch this film with the right person, just like Sleepaway Camp 2 and 3, and even the first one to a certain degree. It's all good with everything I just said. What I can't fucking tolerate, and what I will never watch this film for, no matter who the hell is with me, and why I will scream from the mountaintops about how horrible this movie is all because of Alan.
Your ass stinks. Your ass stinks. Your ass stinks. Your ass stinks.
You get introduced to this kid in the first scene of the movie, and immediately you think this is going to be one of those hyper obnoxious, ridiculous characters that we're actually going to enjoy watching him get his death scene. Little do we know, he's the lead fucking character. And the movie spends an hour and a half not being able to decide whether or not this character, Alan, is a bullied, horribly misunderstood, sympathetic character, or the most agonizingly, infuriatingly obnoxious motherfucking bully that I've ever seen in any camp slasher in my life. And they flip-flop between those two things. Everybody's making fun of me. Fuck you, your ass stinks. This character grated on my nerves so bad, I wanted to go out and find the first person I could find that looks similar to him and knock them the fuck out. On a script writing, on a character writing basis, how the hell do you have a character like that you want us to sympathize with, and yet you make us despise him? I wanted him to die so badly and so violently in this movie that I'm still mad that I didn't get to fucking see it. You remember the character in the beginning of Friday the 13th, Part 5, A New Beginning? The one who's, really messy and gross, a little bit slow, holding the candy bars. Well, forget it, Rick. Just forget it. It's like they took that character right out of that movie, made him 1,000 times more inflammatory, and then handed him the keys to the entire fucking plot of the film. And so most of this movie is just over and over and over again, watching this kid be the most insufferable person I have ever seen in a slasher film, go into these situations that he is very clearly the bad guy. He is very clearly the tormentor. And nobody ever throws him the fuck out of the camp. To the point where even when he is directly being bullied, there's not a person on this earth that will watch this film and not cheer for everybody that is fucking with him. Like, yes, you deserve that, bitch. You get naked and you get shot with those goddamn paintballs. You want to know how much I despise this character? As if I have not clearly expressed that by now. I actually feel like I have the moral obligation to do what I am about to do. Hey. Yeah, it's me. Look, I need to apologize. I've given you a lot of shit over the years. I've said a lot of really, really mean things. You didn't deserve it. You didn't deserve it. Hey guys, can I talk to him alone? Okay, yeah, I get it. I'm a parent too. You should probably stick around. So look, I've said a lot of things over the years, a lot of really mean things, and I understand you're just a kid, and for a long time that didn't matter to me. But I've realized that there's far worse out there, and I should give you more credit. Hey man, look, I've said a lot of things over the years, a lot of really mean things, and you still deserve all of them. Yeah, it's that bad. So as we sit here now, almost 2 decades after they made this fucking thing, we still have not even a whisper of the return of the Sleepaway Camp franchise, and I completely blame Alan. All in all, guys, this is a film that did not really have much going for it in the first place. Not very good quality anywhere in the production, anywhere in the movie-making sphere of Return to Sleepaway Camp, but they absolutely tanked even the smallest amount of enjoyment and credibility by having the worst character that I have ever seen in a film. The worst. Ranked the worst. Well, that's it for this one, guys. Be sure to check out Geology down in the video description below. If you enjoyed this, click over here for the rest of my Sleepaway Camp reviews, and I'm also going to put my top 50 horror films up here to check out as well. Please like and share this video and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss my ranking of the Sleepaway Camp franchise coming soon. And as always, remember, opinions are like assholes, but that doesn't mean that you have to be.